to say that we're here.
Oh, you hit play already?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Hey guys, Green Mountain Zippers, Dave, George. We are guests today at Split Spirits in Middlebury, Vermont. Gonna do a little tasting and review for you guys,
We just did the tour of the distillery itself.
which was awesome.
Yeah, there's one barrel back there that just smells
Yeah.
unbelievable.
The rich line.
Yeah.
And that other barrel that I won't say anything to them about, but
Right on. Well, let's start off with the vodka here. So this is what I was explaining to you guys back there. It's made from the tail end of all of our whiskey distillations.
Gotcha.
So currently, we have been distilling a lot of our drumlin, which is our 100% dry whiskey. So currently, our vodka is 100% rye, which is pretty unusual for vodkas. Usually it's potato or corn as the grain going in here. So what we do with this one is everything that we don't collect for those whiskey barrels, we're sending it through that vodka still, and then doing a charcoal and carbon filtration on there. So it's basically like a household water filter or an enlarged Brita. And we just use gravity. We lift it up from a PT, let it drain down, and it strips a lot of that character out, but it doesn't make it completely neutral.
Yeah.
So you're still gonna get a little bit of that grain flavor in here.
You smell the rye.
Yeah, just
Not strong, just enough.
no,
Yep.
there's a little ping, little
Yep.
sparkle of that spiciness.
So vodka is supposed to be odorless, colorless, and flavorless. Those are the requirements for it to be a vodka.
Yep.
This is colorless, but it's not quite odorless and not quite flavorless. But that's how we like doing things here is we like to have a little bit of flavor.
It's a little sweet.
Yeah, a little vanilla-y.
Yeah. That's the first thing I got was a little sweetness off it.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's pretty unique in that
That's,
sense. That it's,
Like vanilla cake icing, sweet.
Okay.
I was just gonna say vanilla frosting.
Yep.
Yep. So the
That's, and I'm not a vodka guy.
I'm not either.
So I'm not much of a vodka guy either, but I was surprised by this one here. And we had to go through a couple different iterations of this product. So when we first released it, we didn't do any charcoal and carbon filtration on there. So you got a lot of that grain flavor coming up and over, which some people thought was cool. Others were kind of turned off from it. So they weren't really as much of a fans as they are now with this new one. And then we tried a different beer filtering where we're pushing that liquid through charcoal and carbon sheets.
Yeah.
And that one took a lot of the flavor out, but still had a lot of that ethanol, kind of that initial burn on there. And now this new iteration through this charcoal and carbon household filter really cleans it up nicely while leaving that little bit of grain character in there.
That is the least alcohol burn I've ever gotten off of vodka.
Well, there we go.
That is.
I know people don't like hearing the word smooth.
Yeah.
That is
the most gentle vodka.
And it's crazy how just that different type of filtration on there, and we're running it very low and slow off of the still too.
Yeah.
So Lily, our distiller, she's during the whole different types of filtration, all that stuff, different types of distillation on there. So running it faster versus slower, and she found when you're running it nice and slow, kind of like you're smoking meats, the low and slow mentality on there, you're getting a lot less of that grain water boiling up and over, and way more of that pure ethanol.
I really enjoy that little sweetness to it.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
That is really.
It's fun, right?
Yeah.
Well, let me use our spit cups here. I'm driving today, so Dave, have at it, man.
But I still gotta be able to function later too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna chat with these people real quick.
Absolutely, man. We'll be here.
Doing something, but see if they're actually walking in the door or not.
Oh, they might be.
I forgot it's Middlebury College graduation this weekend, so
We'll be fine.
That's really good.
That is very. There's almost like a citrusy kind of sparkle to it, like a lemony kind of.
So to me, I'm just getting that vanilla ice.
which is really interesting because that's all from the rye. There's no
Yeah,
other
that's wild.
additives or
Yeah.
anything like that. And unlike a lot of other vodkas out there, this is made completely from scratch here in this building with Vermont grain. So we're not importing any base high proof alcohol for
Yeah, yeah.
MGP or anything. This is coming directly from a farm in North Hero, Vermont,
Yeah.
running through all of our stills and then into that bottle here. So.
Awesome. That's good.
It is.
So then up next we have the Mythic Gin. So this one comes from that high proof alcohol that we make with the vodka. That's from the tail end of the whiskey distillations. But then we do 11 different botanicals on this one. So this one, there's like kind of, I like to say, the two ends of the spectrum for gins. There's like London Dry style, which is very
Right.
juniper forward. A lot of people says tastes piney and tastes like you're walking through a pine forest. And then there's the other end, which is more like a Hendrix, where it's way more botanical forward and juniper less.
Yeah.
So this one's going to be on that other end of the spectrum. So
Okay.
it has those 11 different botanicals, very juniper back and way more floral and herbal in there. So
Yeah.
some of the more notable botanicals in there, I mean, there's balsam fir, Szechuan peppercorn, chamomile, cardamom, cinnamon, rose hips, lemon peel. So there's going to be way more florals and herbals, kind of like you're walking through your garden
I was
outside.
gonna say, to me, it smells like a potpourri,
Okay.
and I'm getting that rose.
Yeah.
That's the one hit I'm really getting that, and that is that rose.
You said garden. This
Yeah.
is nice floral, you know,
Exactly.
green garden on the edge of like a pine forest.
Yep. Yeah. So you still get that juniper and that balsam that you're
Yeah,
used
that
to
is-
with the gin.
That is way tamped down.
Yeah.
Everything else kind of springs forward.
So what I like to describe this one for people is sometimes when people say they're not a fan of gin, they're thinking of that London Dry style. So when they're thinking when they're drinking it, it's sucking all that moisture out of their mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this one, you might actually like because people always say that doesn't taste like any gin they've ever tried before. So it really just kind of like
Right.
knocks them off their socks a little bit, where they're just like, whoa, like I didn't know gin tasted like this. And that's taking it away from the super juniper forward and moving it towards the more botanical forward. You
Yeah.
get to have those more unique flavors.
What's the
in there.
proof on this?
88.
I pick up the Szechuan peppercorn
Yeah.
instantly. Everything else that like fires up like a firecracker
Yep.
through all the other flavors.
I'm getting that spice from the pepper.
Yeah, everyone tastes something different when they're trying this gin too. So it's really interesting to see what flavors people are picking up.
Oh yeah.
And this is what I was also explaining when we're back there. We're blending it with that high proof too. So depending on, sometimes when it's made with all that rye, you might get a different type of sweetness than if it was made from the ridgeline tails, where it's more barley corn and rye. So you're gonna pick up different flavors depending on which neutral grain spirit we're using as well. So that's why we're doing those different blendings on there. So one time it might be a 1 to a 1.5 or a 1 to a 1.75, just depending on how much those botanicals have come through, what neutral grain spirit we're using in there, and what flavors we're trying to get out of there.
So I get the peppercorn, and then I'm getting a sweetness to it, a little bit of a sweetness, and I'm having a hard time putting that one out, the sweetness on it for me.
Yeah, there's some, right in front of here too, we have those little jars so you can sniff the different botanicals, and that kind of
Oh,
helps
gotcha.
pinpoint what you're tasting in there as well.
Sweet gin.
That's really good. I like the spiciness to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Szechuan peppercorn and a little bit of cinnamon in there too.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
When you just said cinnamon, okay, yeah, that's what it was. When you
Yep.
said that cinnamon, I don't want to say white, that cinnamon, that's.
Yeah. It's the unexpected flavor that
Yeah.
your brain's saying, oh, gin, juniper and citrus
Exactly.
herbs, and then you get that spike of the spice and your brain goes, hey, what was that?
So what I like about this one and what I like about that the Bar Hill gin as well is it shows people that not all gins are that dry style, that
Mhm.
super juniper forward, because Bar Hill makes that lovely honey sweetness to their gin too that is different than most gins people have tried in the past. So it's a cool way of showing like this one with all of those different botanicals. You're like, you might not have had a gin like this before, where it's not that classic suck all the moisture out of your mouth. Is
Right.
the best way to describe it. Or
Exactly.
Well, that's exactly what it is, dry.
Yeah.
Gin, it does, it's like awesome there.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's super cool.
So up next we have the Papilio, which is our agave spirit. So this is the first quote unquote tequila made in the state of Vermont.
Okay.
Because legally we can't call it tequila because it was made here in Vermont. So
Right.
similar to champagne, unless tequila is made in Tequila, Mexico, you cannot call it tequila. That's why we call it our agave spirit here. However, we do ship all that agave in from Jalisco, Mexico, and then we ferment it in-house with Vermont maple syrup. So we do about 80% to 20% fermentation on there. And the maple is going through that whole fermentation process, so it's not like that super sugary maple that you kind of think of when you hear maple in your spirits. It's going to be way more subtle. You might not even taste that maple in there, but what it does adds a unique sweetness to it and helps smooth out that burn that you get from a traditional 100% agave tequila.
Gotcha.
And then we do a double distillation on there, like you would traditionally, but just because we're here in Vermont, we have to call it that agave spirit.
Well, you're not a tequila guy.
Nope. Never, because of bad experience.
Well, yeah, little thing called
But
college.
that
It's a
was
polarizing spirit, you know.
That was like 38 years ago.
I'm hoping this little bit of maple might mellow it out a bit for you. So we're working directly with a sugar house about 10 miles down the road here, Maple Meadow Farms.
Okay.
So they're tapping all the maple trees down in Salisbury, Vermont. And what's funny, how we got in connection with them is they tapped the maple trees in my childhood backyard.
Oh.
So I grew up
That's really
with
cool.
this sugar house, and their daughters were my babysitters growing up
Oh, wow.
as well. So I've known them for a really long time, and they've been great. They deliver that keg I was showing you.
Yeah.
So instead of a keg of beer, we're getting a keg of maple syrup delivered.
It's
So,
cool.
yeah, it's all 100% Vermont maple syrup mixed with that with that agave that comes straight from Jalisco, Mexico.
Yeah.
And it is 100% organic blue agave. And the company we work for, they ship it up to us in those 5-gallon buckets, so it looks like maple syrup when it comes to us, or it looks like, you know, an agave syrup that you'd find in your
Right.
regular store, but just obviously in those big 5-gallon buckets.
And that's, I'm getting that agave syrup smell,
hmm
and I like that.
See,
So,
I'm not at all.
Really?
Yeah.
What I'm saying, it's a very light, it's not like it's overpowering, I'm getting
Right.
just a little bit of.
I've used this note before. Those big tins of popcorn you get around Christmas time,
Yeah.
you know, with the plain, the butter, the cheese,
Yep.
or the, you know, whatever it is. The caramel variety of that, along with like a bright citrusy, it's that agave, just general like light sweetness on top.
yeah. And it's a really interesting one too, because it has that little bit of an extra sweetness to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, tequila distilleries will add a sweetener of sorts to help mellow out that burn, add that little bit of sweetness. But this is just, it's 3 things. It's water, agave, and maple syrup. So it's just those 3 things. And then we do about a 2-week fermentation here. And we only ferment this in the middle of summer as well, because the agave
Okay.
likes it hot. So that's why, not the only reason why tequila is only made down in Mexico, but another great reason for it. Same with rum, is when you're dealing with something with that much sugar, the chance of bacteria being introduced, that fermentation, is exponentially higher. So when it's warm out, it speeds up that fermentation process.
That makes sense.
And then you have less chance for that bacteria to enter into that fermentation. So when we're doing that distillation back there, usually in the summer we're, you know, garage doors open, trying to get an airflow through there because it gets stifling
yeah.
hot. But when we're doing that, we seal it off. That humidity in there gets pumped up, and it's, you know, 90 degrees in the distillery when we're fermenting this, just so we can try to emulate that environment down there.
If you hadn't told me that was maple and agave,
Would have never known.
never known.
No.
I'm not getting anything.
Yeah.
I would sit here all day trying to figure out what that
You
is.
will not taste it, and that's entirely because it goes through that fermentation.
So I think because I know you said there's maple in it, I'm trying to find that maple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it just adds that little bit of sweetness.
But there is something in there that I'm trying to figure out what the flavor is.
I'm right there with you. It's a sweet,
Yeah.
fruity, sorta herbal green.
It is funny because when you're doing the fermentation, we're checking to see if all of the sugar has been converted to alcohol. When you smell it, it's so fruity. Just the agave alcohol slurry that we're fermenting, it has a lot of that fruitiness to it, and then it kind of gets cleaned up a little bit as
I would never say this is tequila.
no,
Nope.
legally you can't.
Right,
So,
but you know,
yeah, and also it's not 100% agave too, which is another huge one too.
Yeah.
So we like to say it's a tequila inspired spirit. So it's our take. It's a Vermonter's take on tequila.
I'd be really interested to see what that would do in a barrel.
So we did do it in a barrel
Yeah.
when we first did it, and we did a reposado and an añejo and an extra añejo, and it sold out so fast
I bet it did.
that we then went to go do it the next year. But the Blanco became more popular, so we imported in only 80 gallons of agave syrup, and we did only the one fermentation strip. Ended up needing all of the Blanco to meet the demand for just the bottles.
Gotcha.
So the next year we doubled it. Turns out that we needed all of that. So this year I've 4x'd what we did last year.
Nice.
So I'm gonna put some in barrels this year.
That would be
this
cool.
is good. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
super
trying to
good.
figure out there's something in it though. I'm trying to figure out. It's weird because you said like a popcorn.
Yeah, like a caramel, almost like a Cracker Jack popcorn with the caramel
Yeah.
brown sugar.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one yet, so I'm gonna try it again later today and see if I can pick up
That's
those
with
ones too.
my brain is saying, keeps saying like lemon, like the lemon heads candies.
Okay.
That's like more of like the lemon peel or the lemon rind
Yep.
citrus flavor, not so much the flesh or the juice.
I am so getting that caramel. Almost like that stale caramel.
Still popcorn. That's
That's not bad
right.
Mhm.
It's just weird that I'm getting that. You said something like that, and all of a sudden my brain's going, I can smell it, I can taste it, because
Yeah.
I'm not getting any maple.
Mhm.
Zero maple.
No, and no agave either.
Yeah.
Nothing that my brain is picking out is, hey, this is tequila.
Mhm.
See, I'm getting a little bit of agave, but I'm getting that weird, that stale caramel
Yeah.
popcorn.
My brain doesn't know what is going on right now, but that is super good.
It's
Yeah.
a unique one, yeah.
Very good, yeah. And
That's a great idea too. Like
It
something
used
that's
to be-
just different enough that makes it stand out from
Exactly.
anything else on the market.
It used to be called monarch too, because the monarch butterflies would fly
Mhm.
from Mexico
Mm.
to Vermont, and we actually got a cease and desist for that one because a distillery out in Washington had some type of spirit also called monarch on there. So it's called papilio now, which is just Latin for butterfly. So we still have
Gotcha.
that
Yeah,
connection.
you know, that is interesting.
Perfect. Now that we're done with the clear stuff, let's switch over to.
I'll switch glasses. I was gonna give it a rinse, but that'll work.
So we've got the ridgeline now. We're jumping over to the whiskeys. So the mash bill on the ridgeline here: barley, corn, and rye. So 55% barley, 22.5 corn, 22.5 rye.
Mm-hmm.
And we source as much Vermont grain as we possibly can. So we're working directly with a farmer up in North Hero, Vermont, Andre Quinton. But then whenever we can't source for Vermont grain, we source from New York, most notably Adirondack Hand Grain in Essex, New York. But all the grain is either farmed organically or regeneratively. That's one of the requirements for our grains here. And we're doing the whole process from start to finish. So as you guys saw, we have the mill back there, the fermenters and strip stills, and we have the finishing still. So we're doing that, we're collecting the hearts, but we're very precise with what we're collecting from the hearts. So we're really not letting a lot of those tails come up and over that we're collecting. We let a little bit of them come over just for mouthfeel in the barrel.
Right.
But then we really are collecting just hearts. We're very precise with what's coming off. Leads to a little bit less quantity, but I believe it turns over into a little bit.
What was
higher
the ratios again on this?
55% barley, 22.5 corn, 22.5 rye.
And that's finished in the port
In the
barrel.
port barrel.
Yeah.
So yeah, we age it in 3 different barrels simultaneously. We have one barrel is a brand new American oak, the number 4 char on there. We age it in an ex-bourbon and then in a port wine. So they're all aging side by side in our rick house. And then we blend all 3 of those together, put it back into a port wine for 6 months, and then we bottle it. So currently it bottles at 8 years old. So this current batch is 8 years old. It's the first whiskey made, or first spirit in general made out of this facility too.
Okay.
So the distillery was designed to make this whiskey.
Wow. So you designed the distillery to process around the whiskey
Yep.
without ever trying the whiskey.
Yep.
Just, hey, this is what we're going for.
Exactly.
Send it.
Yep.
That's really cool.
So the original owners, Chuck and Lars, were 2 friends who did a lot of homebrewing together, did a lot of distilling together, but Lars was a chef and Chuck was a chemist. Flavors and then the science.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
making it all work together, but
So-
and our current distiller is actually Lars's daughter too. So she grew up watching her dad making all of these spirits here,
Yeah.
and now she's taken over as the head distiller and making it all. So
That's really
We'll
cool.
get like a caramel and almost a cherry
Okay.
off it, cherry note.
This is gonna sound weird. Like a really, like a dark, concentrated grape from port wine.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
Concord grape, like just super like concentrated,
Mhm.
melted down, and then almost like a dill from the rye, or like a caraway or something. Smells awesome.
Mhm. It's
That
so-
is, like I mentioned to you, I have the old square
Yeah.
bottle at home. This is night and day.
Yeah. 3 extra years
Yeah.
in a barrel will really, and depending on which barrel port wine is pulled from, where it is in our rick house, totally affects the flavors too. So all of our stuff, being that we're small batch here, they're all gonna have their own unique flavor. And we're really, for our bourbon, we're not blending barrels. We're doing every bottling run we do is a single barrel. So
Oh.
we don't take 2 barrels, blend and put in there. We blend the port wine, the New American Oak and X bourbon for the ridge line,
Right.
but we're bottling out of those finishing barrels I told you. We'll finish off one of those finishing barrels, and that's what it does, and then we'll do the next one. We're not blending the 2 finishing barrels together or anything like that. We're keeping it all very unique too. So each one will have a little bit of a different flavor
Yeah.
in it,
And what's the
depending on
proof
which
on this
barrel it
again?
comes out. That's 98.
That is super good.
Yeah. So all of our alcohol is higher proof than like a traditional spirit too.
It's very bright, you know what I'm trying to say? It's like.
Yeah. But there is some dark fruit notes.
Yeah, I'm getting that cherry, like
Mhm.
a dark cherry, like a cherry that's almost going to the, I don't wanna say spoils, but almost too ripe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that,
Mm.
that over, and I get that character, but it's very bright, it's a very bright drink.
See, the fruitiness for me is, I'm still going with that like dark Concord grape,
Mm-hmm.
almost leaning towards like a blackberry kinda.
Yeah, I see the black.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then with the, you know, the corn sweetness underneath, some caramel, the vanilla.
Yeah.
A little bit of that rye spice poking through.
See, I'm not getting much of that rye.
No, I do on the nose for days, not really on the palate, but
That's really good.
it's super good.
Yeah, and that's the flagship whiskey we have here. So,
As well it should be.
It's our oldest. It was the first one being made out of here. So
Might not need the spit cup for this one.
I won't judge.
That's really good. Mm-hmm.
After taking a sip of the water, flushing around, and this is still hanging on, I'm getting that blackberry. I'm getting a blackberry,
Yeah.
almost a blueberry in that.
Okay. So just a generalized kind of dark fruit between the two of us, which, I mean, between the new barrel,
Yep.
the rye, and the port barrel, it's kind of a
Yeah.
generic, you know?
After swishing that dark fruit really came out.
Yeah. This one's also, I mean, being that higher proof too, a little bit of water really opens up a lot of those flavors too. So it's I like to say a lot of our spirits have a little bit of that longer life in that how when you have it with on a rock glass, you know, it has, as that water's going, it's really developed in like opening up more and more and more as that little bit of water is being introduced. introduced to it.
And it is, it's, like I said, that word, to me, it's a very bright. I mean, it's not gonna, it's just, yeah. It's
That's
very
really good.
bright. I really like that, that's like.
Refreshing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So up next we have the Barred Owl Bourbon here. So this is a bottled and bond bourbon, and it's 66% corn, 17% barley, and 17% wheat as the mash bill on here. Aged entirely in a new American oak barrel for number 4 char, sits at 100 proof, and currently in bottles at 6 years old. So it's been aged up for 6 years. Being bottled and bond, we're required to meet certain standards for this one. For bourbon, aged for a minimum of 4 years, made by a single distiller in a single distilling season, aged entirely in new American oak barrels with number 4 char, has to be 100 proof. So those are kind of like set in stone, this is what you gotta do. From there, you get a little more playfulness with the mash bill you're doing. So as long as it's over 51% corn, you get to play around a little bit with that, and then length over 4 years. So we minimum of 4, but we're not putting them on stainless when they hit that 4 year. We're letting them stay in those barrels, so that's why we're able to jump up to 6 year. The next one we do will be 6.5 years. So like we're jumping up a little bit in age for this one, but.
Ooh.
And since this one has been released, it's kind of jumped to the most popular product we make. Always used to be that Ridgeline, but then once we made this one, it kind of, Ridgeline and Barred Owl are fighting for that top spot for our spirits, but.
I could just live here and smell this all day.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and these are all new American oak barrels from Adirondack Cooperage. So they're sourcing all of the oak from the Adirondacks too.
That's awesome.
So it kind of plays into more of our localness as well.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's still a white oak barrel, still level 4 char, but just the climate and the grain structure of those trees is going to be different enough that totally different from a barrel coming out of Kentucky or Indiana or wherever.
Yeah, and you know, the same principle as that Ridgeline, we're only, each bottling run is a single barrel, so you're gonna have those slight changes depending, like you were saying, this barrel might have been taken from the bottom half of the tree, one barrel might be from the top, and that's gonna impact
Even,
the flavors.
you know, where they sit in the rick house is gonna be, you know, you got one on the top years or the top stack for 4 years, compared to one on the bottom, that's gonna be 15–20% different.
Yeah, and the temperature, not how it's not temperature controlled back there, some fluctuations in temperature, like one might have been in there for a winter that the other one didn't, that it was more, where you put it in the rick house in winter, put one in summer, they're only 6 months apart, but that's gonna taste drastically different, even if they're aged for the same amount of time, just from when it was put in there. Or if it's closer to the wall or closer to the aisle with the air movement back there too. So we designed the rick house with that in mind, so we could get those differences and almost get more out of the barrel from that temperature change of the liquid condensing and expanding.
That's good.
Oh man.
That's good. I can see why that's competing. For your.
It was always Ridgeline, and then when this one came out, it went up.
I mean, I get that, the classic caramel and vanilla out of it. I'm getting it.
I get blueberry pie. That same one that we got, the same note that we got off the Elijah Craig.
Oh, yeah.
Barrel proof. That is, it's right there. Now on the nose, after I took a sip, that is like pure cinnamon stick. Like if you took one and right up.
I was just gonna say, before you said cinnamon, I'm getting a cinnamon smell on the nose and the palate, but I'm getting that classic caramel, vanilla. I don't know about blueberry. I'm getting a fruitiness out of it.
Yeah.
when I had COVID, I lost probably, I'm still at about like 50% of my smell.
Yep.
So I pick up some things that are weird. And don't pick up things that everybody else does, so that is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think, there definitely is.
Yeah, that's the generic bourbon caramel vanilla corn
Yep.
sweetness. The wheat adds like a breadiness to it.
I get like a dough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of helps cut down that sweetness a little bit as
Mhm.
well, which is what I really enjoy about that too. It's
Yeah.
mellowing that out.
And I'm also getting that dough, that's just, you're making the dough that smell.
Okay.
I'm getting that as well.
I'm still stuck in that pure like cinnamon stick that I get from a lot
I
of
definitely
the
get cinnamon out of it.
from like the Willet Distillery products.
Oh yeah.
The Noah's Mill bourbon specifically is just a cinnamon bomb.
Yeah.
And this is super close as far as nose.
And I know there's no rye in this, but I'm getting a little spicy hit on the back, on the finish.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little spiciness. And then
That's really good.
breathe in my nose and like a little spiciness.
Well, just wait until you jump to the 100% rye, and then you'll get the real spiciness in there.
That's good. I can see where that's making its
Mm.
run towards me.
Mhm.
It's jumping quick too. This has been a real favorite for bars and restaurants too. For Vermont bourbon, they've been really
Oh,
enjoying
yeah.
that one. So.
I mean that can stand on its own obviously just fine.
Yep.
But mixing that into a good cocktail, like an
Mhm.
old fashioned or something.
The maple old fashions have been like
Oh, yeah.
the cream of the crop for that one. It's when we do our pop-up bar service, I bring that as
But
the
that's
state
that
down.
really well with that.
I'm gonna see
Yeah.
if I can manage just like 2 drops of this in here. Maybe way too much. Crap. Oh well.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll top it back off.
Don't do what I just did. It's better right out of the bottle.
That little bit of water that was brought out a lot more sweetness to me though.
Mm.
Really brought out the sweetness. Just that on that. I agree.
Yep.
I agree. It's better straight like this than add
Yeah.
a little bit of water. But that brought out more sweetness.
It's more sweetness, but the spice, the whole spice note and the fruitiness that we got, gone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It brought out the sweetness, but a lot of the other flavors was kind of
Mm-hmm.
muted with that little bit of water.
Yep. You guys nailed it with the proof on that. Making
Yeah,
bottle
that's
and volume was.
Yep. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Mhm.
Another reason being, being up here in Vermont, when you hear bourbon, initial thoughts saying tequila always go to Kentucky.
Right.
So we wanted being up here in Vermont showing like even though we're up here, we can still make a very traditional
Mhm.
bourbon.
And honestly, too, the vast majority, bourbon for most people is Jim Beam, Evan Williams, stuff that they mixed with Coke in college, haven't touched
Mhm.
since.
Mm-hmm.
It's a special demographic of people that are really into bourbon and whiskey
Yep.
that will appreciate something with time and effort and thought put into.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, 2 things. We have a guy that we know, that Fred.
We have a guy.
Fred.
Oh yeah, Fred. Yeah.
His
Love you,
thing
Fred.
is, will only drink bourbon from Kentucky. Only one.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Oh, yeah.
wine with that, and he would love that.
Mm-hmm.
And that last sip, because I had to have a sip a little bit, I got a very big hit of sweet corn.
Yep.
That last sip, that last on the palate and on the finish, it was like I was in the barn, right, reaching in and filling the corn for the cattle.
Mm-hmm.
And
So like that dry, dusty
that
corn.
dry, and then I got the sweetness from it.
Okay.
That last bit.
Mhm.
That was actually quite intense on that hit there. That was good.
That is
So far, yeah.
the
So
bourbon.
we were saying,
Really?
The bar.
After it got released, It's gonna climb in the ranks.
I'm not knocking down Ridge at all.
Yeah.
But that bar to me right now, that last sip on that was the salt point for me.
I don't know if I could pick a favorite between the two.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love both of them for completely different reasons.
Yeah. Well, it is fun because our whiskeys are all, the three whiskeys are so unique in their own sense. They're all so different. They bring different things to the palate, and we try to do, we do everything other than a rum. We have the vodka and tequila and whiskeys. But within our whiskeys, we try to do, more barley focused ones, which is that ridge line. And we have the bourbon, and then we have the rye.
Just checking again.
Oh, yeah, God, that'd be good. Gotta start all over again.
Oh no, she's
Still good? Okay.
That would have been funny, right?
That would have been.
That was,
We would have had to hang out and eat something and
Yeah.
chill out for a while before we drove home if we had to do all this again.
that bar is good.
All right.
Yeah, that's-
Normally we have a couple of camera people
Yeah.
to kind of help out and do stuff behind the scenes. They're setting up something for the community center today.
Right on.
The kid pickups tonight.
Yeah.
4th to 6th grade kids for bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife and his better half.
Yeah, that's the truth.
They run a group in Ludlow called Neighbors Together, and they work with kids.
Oh, right on. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we were trying to schedule around their events and our events, kids softball and school and vacations and everything, and 2 days ago they're like, yeah, our dance is Saturday, so we can't go with you, sorry, figure it out, bye. Which,
And I just literally started getting up and moving in the last week or so from
Yeah.
knee surgery, so.
A nice introduction back, right?
yeah.
It's good stuff.
Well, perfect. We can jump over to the drumlin now, which is our rye whiskey. So it's 100% rye, no other filler grain going on here. And all this rye is sourced from the Champlain Valley region. So currently, this batch we source from Adirondack cane grain, right over in Essex, New York. Currently, what we've been doing for the past 2 years has been coming from Andre Quinton's farm in North Hero. So we've been sourcing his rye. But yeah, it's 100% no other filler grain in here. Aged entirely in new American oak barrels.
Okay.
Sits at 100 proof as well. And this current batch is aged for 3.5 years.
Now, is it malted rye, or is it just straight rye?
Straight rye.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, how do you start the fermentation process? Because normally that little bit of malted barley is thrown into your typical bourbon or whatever, just to kind of kickstart the yeast and everything into going.
Yeah, so we add some yeast nutrients.
Okay.
That helps out a lot too, and we add a couple different enzymes that help break down
Gotcha.
the rye proteins and starch, so that the yeast can actually get to the
Gotcha. Okay.
Because rye notoriously is a very hard
Right,
grain.
like a shell on the outside. maybe
Exactly,
through it,
and it has the least amount of starch out of all the other grains as well. And when it is broken down, it actually like gelatinizes a little bit,
Oh,
turns
no
into
kidding.
like a gel. So we add these enzymes that help break down the different molecules in there and the different proteins that are protecting, like that shell, like you were saying.
Yeah. Okay.
There's stuff within the actual grain too, to like protecting that starch. So we add those enzymes that help keep it into that liquid, and then we add a couple different yeast nutrients to kind of help that yeast along in the process.
All right.
I'm getting the rye, but I'm getting like a caraway smell
Yeah.
to it.
Yep.
Like it's like right there to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh, it smells good.
the rye spice flavor that I was getting in the Ridge line.
Yeah.
Yep. Underneath the what did I say, like a dark
Yeah.
grape concentrate.
And it's all Danko rye as well. That's
Okay.
the variety of rye we use too.
I never knew that there was different varieties of rye. I knew there's corn and wheat and everything.
Yep. Danko rye we found makes the best rye whiskey.
Good to know.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I really get that.
That
But
does
the
sound
caraway
good.
to me is like that.
I get the caraway.
So we actually had to shelve this whiskey for a little bit because there was actually a rye shortage. No farmers in Vermont or New York grew rye.
Oh.
So us only sourcing our grain locally, we just couldn't. We had 2 years where we couldn't make it.
Oh,
So
wow.
we had a 2-year age gap, and we sold out of all
Oh,
of the original stuff, and then we had to tell people, sorry.
Right.
You gotta wait a year and a half, 2 years until, and how I was explaining, we like to have all of our whiskeys be over 4 years old.
Yeah.
We did 3.5 with this one just because how long there was in that gap from the last time we could release it.
Gotcha. So
but
this is the first batch since, okay.
First barrel since the break. And we are getting to this next barrel that we're planning on bottling will be that 4 year. So then we'll be back up to that
Yeah.
age point that we like for our
That's
whiskey.
a spice bomb.
Yeah. I haven't tried it yet.
It's the 100% rye right there, full
It's-
force.
It's
Still trying to figure this out. I get the caraway, but then my brain keeps on going back and forth between dill or like a black licorice.
I got the
And
dill,
then-
I would say the dill for me.
Yeah.
The dill, caraway.
But instead of getting like a vanilla or caramel sweetness, I get like raw honey sweet on this.
I'm getting caramel.
Are you still?
And on the flavor, that is sweet. That is,
So yeah, like you were saying though, it's pretty rare in the rye whiskey world to have that 100% rye. Usually there's the barley or a little bit of corn or something thrown in there to notch down that rye spice. But yeah, this one is just that full. If you like rye, it's that full rye for you.
That is super good.
yeah.
That is so good.
Yeah, like you said, to me, yeah, I get caramel for the sweetness. That's what I'm picking up for the sweetness. But that is, again, it's very vibrant. I mean, it's right there. It's telling you, hey, I'm a rye. But a lot of the ryes I've had, it's not been, it doesn't have that sweetness to it like this one does. And I like that sweetness that I'm getting off this one. I really like that sweetness that's in, you're getting that spice bomb, but you're also getting that sweetness that's going with it.
That is a nice piece of like homemade rye toast with honey sprinkled over the top.
Alright.
That is, oh yeah,
That is good.
that's super good.
Wow.
I was a bourbon guy forever.
Yep.
Bourbon and smoky scotch was my thing. And over the past 6 months, something about like rye, especially barrel proof, I dug barrel proof rye has like taken over my flavor profile preference for some reason. That is super good.
That's
So
fun.
I haven't, so the past 25, 30 years, I haven't really been into anything. Not drank much, but it's in February, we started this.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see where I'm headed. And I've definitely won single malt in my mind, but that rye, that is a very, very good rye.
It is.
Very good
That
rye.
is, yeah.
Yeah. I love that spice bomb I'm getting, but with the sweetness. That caramel, to me, caramel. It's just, it's so, you know, people don't like to hear the word smooth, but it's a nice, smooth rye. Rye with the rye. You know?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. For me, so far, the most aggressive one has been the Barn Apple.
Okay.
As far as just the ethanol burn, the one that, you know, grabs your attention and says, hey, I'm here. The drumline, the ridgeline have all been just nice and gentle flavor.
See, I would never put this drum line on 100 proof.
No, I wouldn't either.
Does not drink like 100 proof.
That's a lot of the help from the rick house.
Yeah.
Being that we're getting that much flavor and smoothness from the the barrels.
Doesn't drink like 100 proof.
No,
But that is good.
it's so good.
Wow. Boy, I tell you. That's good. I really like that. That's hard now for me. Between those three, granted, they're all different. You know,
They are.
They're
They
all
all
different.
have their own
Yep.
Normally,
things to them.
like a distillery will have a signature, for lack of a better word, a certain flavor profile rock that lives in every product they make. These are all so completely different.
Yep.
If I was not sitting here with you, you could tell me, oh, this one's from New Hampshire, this is from Kentucky, this one's from Oregon. Okay.
Yeah.
I would totally
Yeah.
believe it.
It's totally, they're all completely unique and different, and
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
That's
all of our
impressive.
spirits too, even the clear stuff, like, they all have their own flavor.
Their own identity.
The vodka has that little bit of that grain character in there. The mythic is so on the other end of the spectrum with the
Oh,
florals
yeah.
and the herbals and the complexity going on, and then like you were saying with the agave, we were like, I don't know what's going on with this
Yeah.
one, but there's something to it. And then the whiskeys.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have one that I wanted to have you guys also try. This is the collaboration we did with Switchback Brewing. So this was, I was explaining a little bit about this one. This won gold medal in the San Francisco Spirit Awards.
Oh wow.
It was entirely made because of COVID. So Switchback sent all of these kegs of their Switchback Ale to bars and restaurants across New England. COVID happened, all of those kegs got returned back to Switchback.
Right.
So they were sitting on 1,500 kegs of that Switchback
Wow.
Ale. And how I was showing you guys earlier how we made that whiskey or that moonshine from that beer.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, why not? Let's try to make a whiskey out of the finished beer. The beginning processes of making whiskey and beer are the same. So what would the difference of a finished beer be? So we took all of those kegs and we emptied them, full carbonation, hops, whole 9 yards, into that strip still. And those 1,500 kegs of beer made 15 barrels of whiskey. So we
Okay.
have this right here, which is basically a malt whiskey. So it's brewing malt, hopped malt whiskey,
Okay.
and it's entirely from that Switchback Ale.
Do you know what the percentage of hops to malt is, just out of curiosity?
I was trying to chat with the brewers at Switchback, and they did tell me, but I'm totally blanking on it.
Okay.
I think,
That's
but it
I was
is
just curious.
if you were to go and buy that Switchback Ale, so just their standard
Oh, I know. I love
flagship beer,
Switchback.
it's that beer. There's nothing else, no other grain added, hops, nothing. We just took that beer and
Okay.
distilled it. So if you were to drink a Switchback Ale and this side by side,
You right there?
you would get
I smell Switchback.
it has a very dankness
Ooh.
to it from the hops too.
And I'm not a beer guy,
Yeah.
and I get that beer, Switchback, that
Mhm.
whole,
Yep.
that's different.
But then there's
That's good.
barrel tannin
Oh, yeah, no,
and
I'm
caramel and vanilla.
Yeah, I'm getting it, I was gonna say, I get the vanilla.
New American Oak with a number 4 char, just like the rest of our
I'm getting,
barrels.
that oak, the tannin,
Mm-hmm.
with the caramel and
I know that smell. And my brain cannot make the connection between the two memories as to what that is, but I know that exact smell.
my brain is trying to pick up something, it's there, I smell it. And-
Yeah.
And I know what it is, I can't
Mhm.
figure out what it is, boy, I get that.
That is interesting.
It is. That's a good,
It's,
that's a good
That's
word for
cool.
it.
Whiskey made entirely from a finished beer.
Yeah.
So a beer that you could pull off of a tap and drink,
Right.
put right into that.
No.
Into that.
I know other places will do like, okay, here's a whiskey distilled from the beer mash.
Mm-hmm.
I think, if I remember right, could be wrong, Rogue Spirits
Okay.
did that. They did it with like their Dead Guy Ale.
Yep.
They took that, just the general mash, and then distilled it into a whiskey, which was gentle, malty, a little bit of hoppiness stuff.
Mhm.
This is like, pow, concentrated.
Smack right
Yeah.
there. And I think what was really unique, so when it comes off the still too, whiskey is clear when
Right.
it comes off the still. It's had that greenish tint.
Really?
And I
That
think
must have
that was the
been weird.
hop oils
Yeah, yeah.
That's
coming
cool.
up and over too. But along with the distilleries using the mashes and stuff, I know Black Flannel Distillery up in Essex, Vermont, they have the brewery and the distillery. They're using their mashes from their brewing in their whiskey distillations too.
You were having an aneurysm or something over there, aren't you? Yep.
It's
Stroke, we're gonna go with stroke for
It's
1,000.
different.
Yeah, it's nothing like I've ever tried
It's
before.
different. Wait.
And it smacks you with that dankness from the hops
It's
at
got
the
a
end.
funk.
Yep. And that's
Got a funk.
all from the hops of that beer coming up and over.
It's got a funk. And
It does.
it's not, it's hard to explain.
That is like taking hops right off vine
Mm-hmm.
and eating them.
Mm-hmm.
That's just,
It's
oh yeah.
insane.
That,
I love the hoppiest, most bitter, punch in the face beer that you can find.
Mm-hmm.
That made it better.
There we go.
that is, it's different. I don't know what else to say. It's
is.
different.
Well,
I can
to me-
almost taste, I get that hoppiness, but I'm also getting, this is what you described one the other day. Like a hay, like a dry hay.
Yeah.
I'm getting that, but it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird, on a good way.
That is awesome.
It's unlike anything I've ever tried before.
Yep.
It's entirely.
That's to go
unique.
off of your note from, we tried a single malt from Texas.
Yep.
That actually came out a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
That they described as like if you took your favorite cola and put it on the stove and just started reducing it down into a syrup.
Okay.
If you took a nice bitter hoppy IPA and did the same thing and just started reducing it down and concentrating
Yep.
and everything, that's, you guys nailed it right
Yeah.
there.
Like
I mean, that's
I
in
get
and
that.
of itself, it's kind of what we're doing, you know,
Yeah.
boiling and collecting
I
flavors
get the
and all
hop, and
that
that
stuff.
hop is almost, to me, almost a hay taste.
Yeah.
But I'm also getting the vanilla, I guess, out of it, and then that
Mhm.
little tannin, that is,
Yeah, so the Switchback Ale is an amber ale, so that means they're using a more roasted barley or malt when they're in their brewing process. So it's, I was asking the question because a lot of people ask, is it like a single malt? I'm like, no, because there's
No.
different varieties of the malt in the Switchback Ale, but it is all different varieties of barley going in there. So different roast levels on those barley.
Right.
what was the proof again?
This should be 92.
Doesn't drink like
No.
that. Nope. You could tell me this is a triple IPA, 15%, here, try it.
It's like a fortified beer.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
am not an IPA guy at all.
Mm-hmm.
That,
So if you're drinking the Switchback Ale in one hand and you've got a little glass of this in the next, it's the same, just made in a different parallel.
Again, like I said, this is weird,
that is fantastic.
but in a good way,
Mhm.
to me.
It's
That
That's
is-
the only way I know how to describe
That
it.
is weird
'cause
in
it's
all
got-
the right ways.
It's got, it's got a funk, it's got that hoppiness, it's got a hay flavor to me, I'm getting that caramel and that,
Mhm.
this is good.
it's something else.
That is a
Yeah.
funky adventure,
Yeah.
which is right.
I figured out to have you guys try that one because it's just so different.
So good. I'm getting what you mean by hay now, like on the nose, kind of like, I'm going towards like, kind of like that fresh cut grass note that I was getting before, not like dry hay, but like a fresh, vibrant kind of.
But more I take it, I'm getting more of that hoppy too, that hop.
Yeah.
That is like so strange.
It's not. That is my comfort zone right
Yeah,
there.
it puts me, see, it's not mine, but,
Well, nobody asked you.
yeah, no, but I'm liking this. In a
It's
weird way.
so unique, right? Yeah, it's something
And
else.
it's almost like thick,
Yeah,
you know?
very viscous.
Yeah.
That is IPA and whiskey combined in,
That is,
yeah.
that is really good.
Mhm.
I would never thought that in a million years. So,
Unique, right?
Oh, we're doing those too?
Figured.
Jesus.
Might as well do them.
Okay.
We'll go lighter on these
Let
ones.
me check that.
Here, I'll check the difference this time. I'll make sure.
I wanted you. This will be.
Cause I think we get an hour before
We're still going, and we're at 54 minutes.
Okay.
We'll speed round these ones for you. So I'll put them in these cups side by side for you.
I love that one. And on weird.
Alright, so
Alright, we got like 5 minutes and counting.
perfect. We'll speed round these ones. So what's unique about these ones is These are whiskeys that never touched a barrel. So technically, you can't call them a whiskey. So this is
I think,
aged moonshine of sorts.
was it that underground whiskey, Cleveland Underground, Chicago Underground, something? Or like, basically putting their whiskey in a giant pressure cooker with wood chips.
Oh,
And
yeah,
like
yeah.
pressure it like 300 PSI, and then release it, 300 PSI, release it to force it in and out of the wood chips.
Yep.
Which is the same effect as whiskey, but it's
Yeah. So this one here, aged with white oak staves. So in a stainless steel tank, and think of all these staves as a tea bag, and we're just like steeping the whiskey with these tea bags and doing like the inverse aging process on there.
that is smoky banana bread.
Yeah, it's very unique, very different. So all the grain,
Yeah.
the grain and the wood comes from each respective state. So all of the grain and that white oak comes from Illinois.
That's
And the white oak actually comes from a tree that fell down on my boss's family farm in Illinois. So he was able to make 2 whiskey barrels that we had aging in the back, a rye whiskey from all the rye from his family farm, and the barrel came from an oak tree on his family farm. But we've been able to age these ones with those white oak staves. Then up next, entirely different. So this whiskey here
Ooh.
is entirely the Ridgeline Clear whiskey,
Okay.
but aged entirely with sugar maple. So this never touched any of those port wine or those ex-bourbon or New American oak.
Okay.
This is
So you took the
entirely-
new make Ridgeline.
Yep. Aged
Maple.
it in with maple wood instead. So no barrels. This is just maple wood. And this
That's
tastes
a-
like a campfire. This is just like if you were camping in
That's
the
awesome.
woods
I
of
guess
Vermont
so, yeah.
and you were just grabbing random sticks and throwing them on the fire is what I describe this one.
I get some weird variation of barbecue sauce on that, which is the weirdest frickin' thing I have ever experienced in my life.
Some of the stuff that you say is weird, I'm getting.
Well, everything I say is weird, but
The caramel or the caramelization of the maple sugar when we're roasting and smoking and charring this maple wood adds a very unique flavor and gets very smoky with this one.
I definitely get the smoke, I get a maple, I get that tannin, you know, that wood hit to it. I like that.
that is super smoky.
Yeah.
Very smoky.
That
Yeah.
is so good.
Yeah.
I'm definitely getting the smoke off that one. It's almost, we've described this before where it's like it's the wet wood that's just smoldering.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Campfire the morning after.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like you're camping in the woods of Vermont and you're sitting around that
Right.
campfire.
Hey,
This
while
one-
we still have time, thank you.
Of course.
Seriously.
No, thank you very much.
Of course.
This has
Appreciate
been
it.
Absolutely.
amazing.
This has
In
been
case
fun.
it runs out.
In case it
Yeah.
runs out, yeah, whatever.
So then, this one right here, 100% rye, aged entirely with dark cherry wood. So this is the drumlin, but entirely with dark cherry wood.
And that's the drum
So that
with the cherry.
shows the differences the wood makes in these whiskeys.
That is those chocolate covered cherries you get around Valentine's Day, minus the syrupy sweetness.
I was gonna say the exact same, because I love chocolate covered cherries.
Mm-hmm.
I love them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's good.
Yep.
That's the better of the two ryes right there.
So my personal favorite out of the split spirits lineup is that New York.
I would go. Yeah, I would go New York and this is out here.
Mm-hmm.
That is
New York is
yes.
good.
That is good. That is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I could pick a favorite. Again, like these three, those are all totally
They're all
off on their
completely
own and different.
Yeah.
But out of these
And
three,
this-
these bottles here, this to me,
I'm gonna agree with your order.
that is
No,
night and day
yeah.
difference between these two.
Yep.
This with the cherry to it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
It's just so different. And it's roasted with cherry pellets. We roast each wooden piece and then we char half of them so you get that like char.
And
in
this
there
is
as
the
well.
first one out of every one that we've tried, that I'm getting a little on the side of my lips, right here.
Mhm.
But it's a sweetness to it that's just sticking. Yeah, that is really good.
Yeah.
I kinda like that Vermont one though.
No, that
That
one's
is-
good.
The campfire.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but this here, there's something about that,
Mm-hmm.
and I hate to take New York over Vermont.
That's probably right on my way.
But, oh, that's good.
Mhm.
That's really good.
Yeah. Out of the three, that's my favorite. That's kind of a fan favorite as well. I mean, people love the Vermont because it's Vermont, and
Right.
There's-
yeah,
I'm not taking anything away
Yeah.
from that one. Not taking anything away from that at all. But this one, I got that New York one,
oh yeah,
that sherry to it, that added something that, oh,
Mhm.
that is really good. That is really
yeah.
good.
One of you guys, as we were doing them, I was like, I want you guys to try these ones too, just from how unique, and different they are.
Those are, yeah.
To me, that's the one right there, out of those three.
I agree.
I like this one because of the smokiness. This one's good,
Mhm.
Plain.
right?
Yeah,
This-
it's white oak,
Yeah.
but not in a barrel.
This
Yeah,
one,
this one is just like the control,
yeah.
and then here's the other like.
You're getting the smoky campfire smoke, like you said, the day after, as that campfire died down overnight, and you get that smoky. This here,
Yep, I agree. That's the control, just okay, let's see if this works. This is, okay, let's reel it back in a little bit, and that's like, okay, yep, that's what we wanted.
Yep.
that's really good.
And that was entirely aged with those
That's
tea
so
bags
weird.
and wooden stakes.
That is so weird.
Yep.
That's
Just
really
that
cool.
little bit of, that little bit.
Yeah.
Let me just check if that's what it is, we'll just do an official sign off.
I don't think it is, we've been here for way too long.
Yeah, you never know. No, it's still running.
Still going, wow.
Perfect.
You need to retract your New York is better than Vermont statement then.
So with that being said, thank you.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
guys.
thank you very
Yeah,
much.
Thank you so much,
Awesome.
this is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it's.
Really happy to have you guys in here.
Yeah, and guys, if you're up in the Middlebury, Vermont, or
Manchester.
Manchester, Vermont area, stop by, and check them out. Do you know the address for the one in Middlebury? I mean, Manchester?
92 Depot Street.
92
Yeah,
Depot
below the Vermont Flannel and Vermont Teddy Bear store.
Street? Okay, and the address for here?
This is 88 McNally Street.
Okay. Highly recommend.
Yeah, come and check this out.
I'm having a very hard time deciding which one, like, I know which one I'm leaning towards, but on those, that New York one, I don't like saying I take New York over from all. That one was phenomenal.
Yeah,
And again, thank you for the tour.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the tasting.
Absolutely.
Greatly
And-
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I remember you said on the tour that you're not one for marketing.
Yep.
You've done
Done
one
it.
hell of a job.
I appreciate it.
You-
Thank
yeah.
you.
Good job. And again.
Great
thank you.
storytelling, great.
Thank you very
Absolutely.
much. Thank you.
Thank you
Absolutely.
again, man.
Let me shut that up. Oh, my knees. Sitting all day, my
See
knees.
you later, guys.
My knee is starting to